So hello, everybody. Welcome to GB Live 2025 here, our Xsolla release notes for August 2025. I'm Dean Takahashi, editorial director at GamesBeat, and I'm here with Chris Hewish, the president of Xsolla. Welcome, Chris, and congrats on your title change there.
Thank you, Dean.
It's a good thing. Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to be here and to do these with you.
Mm-hmm. And you got a lot of news for August 2025 here, your sort of pre-Gamescom, I guess, rollout of a lot of new things. And there's different sections here. I think we'll start with developer tools and SDKs. And so how does the Unity SDK remove App Store limitations?
Mm-hmm. Well, so we just released our Xsolla SDK for Unity, and that really brings together, integrates payments, subscriptions, web shop features, all of these things directly into the Unity environment, and it makes it really easy for Unity developers to get out there and go direct. And it also supports Apple Pay, Google Pay, over 1,000 different payment methods from around the world. And this lets developers monetize with one SDK across iOS, Android, web, and PC without having to rely on platform stores, sacrificing control, or giving up the big margins.
Yeah. And I guess we could step back a little too and add some context here for why it's a good time to be doing these things for developers. I think they've had tough times over the last few years, and a lot of market uncertainty, a lot of changes in regions happening, and some welcome changes, through different court cases. The antitrust cases against Apple and Google are finally forcing changes into the market as well, and it creates opportunity to do new things for games and for developers, and you guys are taking advantage of some of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is all part of just the increased momentum of going direct to consumer and giving developers the power to really evolve beyond just a set of limited platforms or walled gardens and to really grow their businesses in new channels and in new ways. And you're right, there have been the court cases in the US, there's regulations in Europe with the Digital Markets Act, Japan, South Korea, numerous other countries around the world also have various regulations. All of these things are kind of aimed at the same goal, which is creating a fair marketplace for developers to be able to go and run their businesses and at the end of the day connect with their players and provide better value to the players and the consumer. So it's a real win. And of course we never advocate just ignoring the platforms altogether. It's all just part of building a bigger ecosystem which combines platforms, direct to consumer, all the things.
Yeah. And you've got SDKs that are addressing a lot of the different parts of the market, the Windows and Epic. You have multi-platform strategy SDKs, Discord things. What to you are some very significant things to call out about some of these SDKs?
So we have a Windows SDK for games that are on Windows, Epic Store SDK, really cool Discord bot. We also have a partnership with Play, which allows you to actually port your Unity games over. But what's really cool with these things, when you're looking at, for instance, the Epic SDK, it introduces something called dual billing that allows you to be able to use either your Epic account, your Xsolla account with all the different payment methods. There's a number of other things that it allows. But the thing that I'm really kind of excited about, I mean, these are all cool, but the thing I think is really useful and will be meaningful to a lot of developers out there, especially going direct to consumer, is our Discord bot. And what that does is it allows you to actually sell things through Discord, run different promos, different campaigns. So it's a really powerful tool that allows developers to go further with what they're already doing in Discord, which is building and engaging with communities. This allows them to take it to the next level and actually make that another channel for them to run the business of their games through.
Interesting. And then we've got some changes coming in global payments expansion here. Why is regional payment support critical in 2025?
Yeah, I mean, regional payments, global payments are incredibly important because when we talk about this, we talk about, often they're referred to as alternative payments. But the long and short of it is that something like, I believe the stat is 56% of players globally are not using a major credit card or PayPal. So if you're locked into providing only kind of the tier one financial option, payment option for gamers, you're going to miss out on over half of your players worldwide. These gamers are using local payment methods, alternative payment methods. Increasingly, they're using digital wallets. Even here we're in Europe. Over in the US, we're seeing that digital wallets are now accounting for 30% of the commerce that's happening out there. So these are all kinds of new methods that traditional platforms don't fully utilize. When you look, for instance, in Latin America, 77% of gamers under the age of 20 don't have a credit card. They're using local alternative payments to actually conduct their commerce. And again, for us, it's very important that if you're not tapped into this large ecosystem worldwide, we have over 1,000 different payment methods integrated into one API. So if you're not tapping into that, you're missing out on a substantial part of your audience that wants to engage with you and spend in your game.
And you've got some regional coverage changes here, like India's got a relaunch. You have localization checkout experiences. What's worth calling out in this section on?
Yeah, I think there's a few
payments.
things. We, as you mentioned, India, we've relaunched there with UPI, our UPI, and net banking. They have been relaunched integrated into our pay station with mobile-first QR code-based flows. And this really opens up access to over 500 million mobile gamers in India alone, so that they can do secure, frictionless payments in your games. So that's a huge, huge market to tap into. Now, of course, the economics are different in different markets, and you have to take that into account when you're pricing and doing things like that, the types of events and offers that you're creating. But now you have the opportunity to tap into that and to do that. And we have native language interfaces now, so that the checkout flow is in a native language versus forcing people to go through English or eFigs or whatever it may be. So again, this reduces friction, which is always the name of the game when you're trying to tap into a much larger market.
Oh, nice. And we have monetization and infrastructure and growth tools. What's the developer incentive program here?
Yeah, that's a pretty cool program. So this is a program that funds user acquisition with revenue-based rewards that are tied to your web shop and with offer wall use. So offer wall is a new solution that we have out there. And what this does, well, first of all, with offer wall, this is something that unlocks a lot of incremental revenue from your non-paying users through in-game tasks, surveys, rewards. And we've seen on a retention front up to 7 times retention and 10 to 14 times conversion improvements while complementing the other in-app purchases. But the developer incentive program itself, it's, like I said, it's a program that funds user acquisition and offers these rewards, and it helps teams scale with no upfront marketing spend, which is often difficult, right? A lot of developers make a great game, and they've put everything they have into that game, and they are not able to take advantage of scaling when they come out of the gate. And of course, everybody knows the great stories of scaling rapidly when you have a huge hit and cash is flowing in. That's great. That's easy breezy. But if you're like most games and you have some positive KPIs, you want to do incremental, slow scaling that kind of, you don't have a lot of cash coming in right away, but you have positive KPIs. A program like this can help you. It can actually make the difference between a good game, sticking around and growing and having success or not.
Yeah. I noticed there's more money available for user acquisition funds now, and that's access to a certain kind of cash just for user acquisition that hasn't always been there. I think some banks have sort of provided this in the past, but now there's private equity coming in too, and so it's going to be sort of a new flow of funding to get games off the ground, and it's very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, to take a detour on funding, I think that's one of the things I'm already hearing over here at Gamescom is just the increased opportunities around funding, whether it is companies that are looking to fund against a revenue stream of when you launch and they're getting paid back out of revenue. Companies, there's more money moving off the sidelines back into equity funding. So I think it's a pretty exciting time for an industry that's had a bumpy road and a lot of people that may be looking to start up their dream studio and make their dream game. I think there's a lot of opportunity now.
And you guys have this live ops management suite, and that's benefiting developers?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, live ops is so critical to the success of games today. And I'm not even talking just about free-to-play games, but even premium and hybrid games that are offering some sort of ongoing engagement with their players through seasonal passes and events, DLC, all of this. Live ops can play a role within all of that. And with our tool, with our live ops management suite, it's a no-code visual interface that allows you to create segmented campaigns, allows you to do automated triggers, scheduled updates, and basically it allows teams to manage real-time engagement without having to have a big engineering team to build it all out.
And you got some things called payment facilitator, the meta sites, more cloud gaming trials. What are some interesting things?
We are not resting, Dean. We like to say that we do all the things that a game company might need to actually run their business so that the developers can focus on what they love, which is making great games. So payment facilitator, what is that? So that is a partnership where we've partnered up with Adian, and it allows our PSP model, or payment service model, to go over to studios who can become their own merchant of record. And that means that they now have full control over their payments, tax compliance, real-time reporting. And what it's designed for is developers that are seeking a global reach while having operational autonomy. So we operate as a merchant of record for our partners, which means we handle all the back office stuff like the taxes, compliance, VAT, chargeback disputes, everything. But there are some studios out there that would prefer to do that themselves, and this is a way for them to do that. Metasites, these are browser-based, Unreal-powered multiplayer 3D worlds that come with voice chat, integrated payments, referral tools, and basically they allow developers to launch immersive player hubs instantly with no downloads required. So they're really cool virtual worlds that you can spin up and launch and create something fun and cool. And then cloud gaming, you know, I've long said that cloud gaming, there's a lot of potential there, especially if you think of it not so much as a standalone business, but as a feature that can complement your business in a number of ways. And so what we've done here, in addition to some of the subscription services around cloud that we have, we've created a new cloud gaming trial solution which allows developers to offer 15-minute browser-based demos of their games. And they can do this where the players don't have to do any installs. Developers can use this to test builds, get full attribution, test out monetization, beta test, you know, bug test, whatever it may be, scale test, and get all the data that they need without having to send builds out or send codes out, without having to worry about getting builds back or deactivating builds, right, that may get out into the wild without their want. You know, this is a very controlled way to demo your game.
Interesting. Let's see, and we've got industry perspective and your strategic outlook. I don't know how things are changing here, but you know, game monetization is evolving. I wonder what some of your observations are about that.
Yeah, so game monetization absolutely is evolving, and it's really shifted to a multi-channel approach. I often refer to this as a hybrid monetization approach, and it means that there are so many different ways now to monetize your games. Things from how you actually do your different pricing, the different types of offers you make to players, to where you present those offers, whether it's through storefronts or web shops or directed consumer channels. You know, you now have subscriptions, offer walls, loyalty systems, all of these different things that are multi-channel that can drive lifetime value beyond what you're currently seeing. And in order to do that, you have to really start to understand your player, which is a benefit of direct-to-consumer. You get all of your data, and you can now start to really understand your players based on not just their behavior, but their regions or their devices or their, you know, engagement profiles, and then you can offer them different monetization approaches that match them and maximize the monetization that you get. And this is really important because we know that acquisition costs continue to go up, regions are getting complex, platforms are, you know, getting locked in or tough to deal with at times. So we address all of it with these modular tools.
Nice. So what are the biggest monetization challenges that developers face?
Yeah, I mean, we touched on it just briefly, but certainly acquisition costs and discovery continue to be huge challenges. And you know, you might say, well, that's not directly tied to monetization, but it is in the sense that if a player can't find your game, you can't monetize them. But beyond that, I think there are real challenges that developers face. It's not so much a challenge, but an opportunity. But it's a challenging opportunity to tackle, which is as you get a better picture of who your players are and better understanding, better live ops tools, better ways to engage with them, all of these different hybrid approaches. The challenge is how do you figure out the right type of monetization for each type of player and getting it very, very granular. So it's a huge opportunity. When you get it right, you see great returns. And you know, maybe there are some players that, you know, they're never going to spend. They come from a region where, you know, even if you price things low, you're not just going to see the kind of results that you want, but they will engage with an offer wall, right? And that can be, and they can monetize through there. Maybe there's a cohort that you have different offer wall bonuses because they've bought into a season pass, but they're not spending otherwise within your game. So you can start to combine all of these things together to create a real layered approach to how you monetize. And that it's a challenging task, but the opportunities are great.
Yeah. Well, we have an interesting year or a season coming here for the end of the year where we have a Battlefield game, Battlefield 6 coming. We've got Call of Duty. There are different kinds of sort of mobile variants in these cases. And the competition should be just really intense. I mean, I think it's going to make, for very interesting competition between those two companies, but also it's also going to put pressure on everybody else, and you don't want to be sort of caught without enough tools in your tool chest here, right? So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, gosh, at the beginning of the year, everybody was talking about how the industry was in trouble because GTA had moved out, and now we have Battlefield 6. We've got so many other great games on the horizon. We're seeing an increase in indie games and a lot of success there, and while there are all of these games, we like to say that for Xsolla, 2025 is really the year of all the things. So we want to provide all the things that all of these games need to succeed.
Nice. And I guess looks like industry growth could be about 9%, maybe. What's driving that?
Yeah, so I think there's several different things that are driving that. So continued growth globally and figuring out new ways to monetize all of these different markets and audiences is part of it. The increased push into direct-to-consumer, where you have better margins, which is only part of the story. We also see a much bigger lift on the average revenue per paying user going direct-to-consumer. I just gave a talk earlier today, and it's basically a 23% lift. So if you're getting $100 going through a platform from your average spend on a player, you'd be seeing 123 going direct to consumer if you do it right. And if you deploy all of these tools and really lean into it. So, I think we're seeing growth as games just continue to grow. We're seeing growth in other markets. We're seeing growth coming from these new ways to monetize different segments. And then finally, just the growth that's coming from being able to fully deploy the power of e-commerce when you go direct to consumer.
And so how does Xsolla just view the whole idea of industry consolidation?
Yeah, industry consolidation, I mean, that's a tricky one. We feel that it does reinforce the need for independence. It reinforces the need that as these companies consolidate into fewer and bigger, we've seen it unfortunately over the past year or more. You have companies that get brought into multi-billion-dollar enterprises where now they're only going to focus on the games that move the needle for the larger company, which is a game that makes $1 billion or more. So you have plenty of games that may make tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars that players love, but they're kind of getting shut down or cast aside. So, this is where independence comes in, and the need for companies like ours to be able to provide all the tools and all the solutions that these studios need to go independent and to be able to continue running their businesses without the backing of a massive mega corporation and all of that infrastructure.
Yeah. And so does that leave you with some closing thoughts? And
Yeah, I think, again, I kind of touched on it a little bit, but, we think that we're seeing an increased growth of services and tools that benefit developers. And I think we really are, between the ability to conduct your business and kind of punch at the same weight that a big guy would be, the unlocking of capital starting to come back into the market, the amount of talent that is out there. Whenever there are big changes in an industry, usually that results in innovation. And I think we're really approaching a convergence where the power of direct to consumer and the ability to do that, the ability to get funded, and the amount of talent that's out there that's looking to make great things is all aligning. And I really do think the outlook looks bright. And I think between indie and mid-tier titles and studios, we're going to start to see a lot of great new things coming out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's we're overdue for them for sure. We want more innovation. We want more good games to play. I think it's going to be an upward slope for a while here. So, any other things you'd like to add, Chris?
No, I think we covered it. I think I always appreciate the chance to talk with you, Dean, and love being here. And we'll see what comes.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dean Takahashi. I'm the editorial director at GamesBeat. Happy to be here with Faisal Kazim, and he is the director of Foresight at the Dubai Future Foundation. I guess we can start by asking, what is that? Dino, what kind of job is that?
Thank you very much. So, maybe I can start with Dubai Future Foundation itself because it's tied to that job title. The Dubai Future Foundation was launched to position Dubai 10 years in the future. So that makes it a very, very broad kind of mandate. And it is a Dubai government organization. And even though it's a government entity, we work very closely with the private sector. And the ultimate goal is to provide positive impact, not just on the Emirates economically, but on the Emirates society as well. So a lot of the work that we do is looking at industries of the future. That's where the word foresight comes from. We conduct a lot of research, a lot of primary research as well, surveys, phone calls, and scenarios for what are the different pathways for the future of various industries. So we've been exploring industries from everything from the planet, climate change mitigation, to energy, the future of energy, to AI, of course, but also one of the things that we noticed was the games industry was actually an industry that is both an industry of today, but also an industry of the future, because it is a very versatile industry. So the skill sets that are used to to develop games, to design games, we believe are the same skill sets that are going to be required in the future, because the one thing we're betting on is that the future is going to be digital.
Interesting. And I guess everybody will sort of have a question at some point of like, why Dubai? And your job is really to convince them. I think this is the place. This is the place you want to be, the place you want to go. Is there something you like to say when you're having these conversations with people about like, why is Dubai a special place? What makes it a destination, I guess?
Yeah, I actually love this question, and I want to answer this question to as many people as possible, because there's a lot of misconceptions, misperceptions about what Dubai and the region is like. So it's not really about money. It's not like you're going to end up in Dubai and you're going to receive a blank paycheck. It's more about the cultural diversity. We have more than 200 nationalities in Dubai. We have the financial freedom. We have safety. These are the things that really stand out, especially in this period of uncertainty around the world, geopolitical conflicts. So the political stability also, I mean, all of these things is what really makes Dubai an attractive place. And in terms of incentives, we do as much as we can to at least provide some sort of safety net for this industry that has, especially in recent years, has become so unstable. So those are the things that we want to focus on rather than short-term incentives.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting that you want to do better. You want to attract more companies, but Dubai has so much going for it already. Like, I mean, it's got a museum of the future. It's got one of the biggest malls in the world, I guess, if not the biggest, right? And so many amazing things that you can experience there. Tourism is something that I think everybody ought to try and discover about this place. And it's almost like you don't need all this help. I mean, you're sort of a natural magnet already as the way this society is set up, right?
Yes, and that's also another. It's almost like it has two. It's benefiting Dubai in two different ways, right? So there's obviously tourism, the economic impact that comes from tourism. But again, we have met a lot of people that would be visiting Dubai for the first time. Maybe they're attracted by the Museum of the Future, or they're attracted by the Burj Khalifa, or they're attracted by Burj Al Arab or the other attractions. But so what that does is people that don't know anything about Dubai or the region or have the wrong kind of perception about Dubai, they end up coming to Dubai, and one of the first things that they tell us is, wow, we didn't think Dubai was like this. Dubai is, they pick the one or two things that they didn't know about Dubai, and then all of a sudden they start thinking about, wait a minute, like, what if we open an office in Dubai? And then they start thinking about, what are the schools like? What are the services like? And then they start exploring those things. We're very hands-on with those things as well. We have government entities that are focused specifically on guiding teams in terms of not just how to set up offices, but also for things like finding them showing them the right neighborhoods, schools, etc. So yeah, I mean those landmarks are there, but they also bring secondary benefits like fixing the misconceptions about Dubai.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things I'd heard was that you can pay your rent in cryptocurrency, and I can't think of too many other places in the world where that's a thing, right? It's interesting. And as far as attracting the game industry, I guess I'd be interested in knowing how you think about it. You have rich neighbors. There's lots of competition for these game companies or game developers. They're kind of a scarce resource in the world. So how are you trying to attract the game industry into Dubai? And I know I've heard you describe this before as you're doing it the hard way, right? So tell us more about that.
Sure. So we are doing it the hard way. We're also doing it in a way that's complementary to everything else that's happening around us. There are amazing things that are happening in Abu Dhabi, which is an emirate in the United Arab Emirates. Amazing things happening in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. They have the Esports World Cup. So one of the things that we're looking to do is do things that are complementary to everything that's happening around us. And the hard way, what I meant by that was, it's to try and grow the ecosystem organically. And the hope is that once, if you do it organically, the impact will be more long term. And it is also the hard way, because we instead of offering financial incentives for people to open offices, it's more about us, being out there on the ground and talking to as many people as we can, showing our industry to as many people as we can, and also facing criticisms every now and then, trying to resolve them, taking it as constructive feedback. That's the hard way, and that's the long-lasting way, and that's the approach we want to take.
And I guess it still works though, because I mean, you guys have put a lot of work into just making it a good place to be. As you mentioned, it's one of the safest places in the world. It has all these advantages. It's got a familiar way of allowing business to happen, and to happen fast and smoothly, I guess. You try to foresee the kind of regulations that are necessary, so you've got these plans that go a decade out. You want to tell us a bit about, say, the Dubai gaming program for 2033 goals, and what you're trying to accomplish, where you are and where you're starting at right now, and where you want to be.
Sure. So a lot of it is really trying to address what we just talked about. It was launched, the program is called the Dubai Program for 2033. It was launched by the Crown Prince of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, back in November of 2023. And that was huge, because it was an endorsement from the highest level of government that gaming is a serious industry. We are acknowledging as an emirate in Dubai that gaming is an area of strategic importance to the Emirate of Dubai, and the targets that were set were extremely ambitious. So we're doing everything we can to meet those targets. Those targets are to create close to 30,000 jobs between now and the year 2033, to add close to $1 billion annually to Dubai's GDP by the year 2033, and to make Dubai a leading city globally in gaming by the year 2033. The year 2023, because it's in line with one of Dubai's strategic initiatives, it's called D33. It's a goal for the Emirate of Dubai as a whole to enhance Dubai's GDP. And it's a 10-year program. So the initiative the intention from the very beginning was for this to be a long-lasting program rather than just an announcement. So there are frequent follow-ups from the government, like, okay, we announced this 10-year program in November 2023. How are we doing so far in terms of expectations?
And how many companies are there now?
So so that's one of the first things that we were asked. Okay, the program was launched November 2023. When 12 months passed, they're asking, okay, so how did you guys do? So it was, thankfully, it was good. The announcement itself helped a lot, but also just Dubai being serious about the games industry, the whole perception changing led to a growth of 16.6% in terms of gaming companies in Dubai. We now have more than 350 gaming companies in Dubai. I'm not sure how that compares to some of the larger markets, but in the Middle East, that's really significant. And actually, the largest category in terms of the types of gaming companies that are out there are game developers. So it's exciting. We're looking forward to hearing, over time, some homegrown success stories coming out of Dubai, because more and more we're starting to see games that really don't need to be AAA or quadruple A these days, extremely expensive games to develop. There have been recent success stories coming from either indie games, games that were developed by maybe a single person or a very small team. And the reason why, in my opinion, they're so successful is because these games are not only fun, but they're also very, very unique. And those two things can easily be achieved in a place like Dubai, which is home to a culture like no other. It's home to stories that haven't been told before. So I really think the future is bright for developers.
Yeah. And I guess one thing about critics is like they always like to move your goalposts back, right? When you hit certain achievements, then people go, okay, what's next? What else are you going to do for us, right? And so 350 game companies is already like putting you far ahead of so many other countries in the world, I think. But then you have different goals that can emerge, like how many of them have gotten their next round of funding, or have achieved a certain size, or employ a certain number of people. I think one interesting milestone you guys have hit is that you do have a unicorn already, right? And again, not something many countries can brag about, I guess, right?
That's true. So Dubai is home to the headquarters of Yalla Group. They are listed on the New York Stock Exchange. They are a unicorn. I think currently they're valued at, if I remember correctly, over $1.3 billion. And yeah, that is a success story, And again, it doesn't have to be, a game with fancy graphics. This game is just entertaining. A lot of people want to be on it. It's almost like has a very strong social aspect to it as well. People get on the game and they socialize. So that's another great success story. I think going back to hitting the number of a good number of companies in Dubai, like what's next? Like how can we prove that we're achieving even more? You mentioned investments, next rounds of investment. That is definitely an area of focus for us. I don't want it to sound like we're just only promoting Dubai. I'm also being realistic in terms of the region's relatively new to the games industry, and so we have a great investment ecosystem. There are a lot of investors in Dubai and the region. A lot of them are sector agnostic. A lot of them are tech focused. A lot of them would consider good deals in gaming. But because the region hasn't been exposed to a pipeline of investment opportunities in gaming, and they don't have the track record of investing in gaming, that's an area of opportunity for maybe VCs that are focused in gaming to consider either opportunities in Dubai, or maybe it's a responsibility for us to try and host sessions to educate local investors on how to invest in games, what good expected returns look like, and what are the risk levels like.
Yeah. I guess the interesting thing about gaming is that you can always go deeper into it, right, and get more and more experience with it. And I remember having a conversation with a woman in the U.S. about being an indie game developer, and she was showing me her game and talking about it. And then she mentioned to me, my mother was a game developer. And then I thought about that a bit and said, wow, you are a unicorn, because I don't know anybody who grew up with their parent being a game developer, right? It's a relatively new industry, and how rare is it that we're getting into sort of this multi-generational game development history with families now, and those are huge advantages, that can happen with different regions that have been at it for a long time. Like, for the longest time, it was just Japan, Europe, and the U.S. making games. But I think with, big opportunities that have happened with mobile games, the talent has spread all over the world now. But still, the countries that can go deepest with it are the ones that are, having second or even, third generation game developers in families. And you would think that they would be the veterans of the industry. They would be the ones that, can, build teams, attract people, understand, how complex this business is. And yeah, it takes generations to get there, right? And not every country just, can snap their fingers and say, we're going to we're going to do this right away, right? So, but that's what I mean by, you can go deeper with gaming for a long time. It's kind of like the Disney generations, I think, too, where, families are so into Disney that, grandparents, parents, and kids are all watching Disney shows together. And that's a very difficult thing for anybody else to compete with, right?
Yes, 100%. I have two thoughts on that. So the first is, millennials are now, becoming parents, and millennials mostly understand, the benefits that come from the games industry. It's the other side of it is we have a responsibility to ensure that maybe because of lack of understanding of the impact of gaming on children and youth, that certain parents might encourage their children to just avoid video games altogether. And so the risk there is that, if you consider a future where game development skills are required for developing something really positive for our societies, those people will unfortunately not be able to contribute. And so it's a responsibility for us to, yes, highlight the risks, provide the necessary safeguards, at the same time ensure that no one's left behind. And so that's one thought. And the other thought that I had was regarding generations. I mean, we don't have, the UAE's population grew massively in the last couple decades. And so we don't have that scale of generational knowledge. And so what we're looking to do is, we did have a couple of new educational programs that were launched. There are now bachelor's degrees from some of the bigger universities in Dubai. American University in Dubai is offering a bachelor's degree in game development and game design. There's also SAE Institute providing great programs in game development, and there are others as well. And so what we're looking to do now is, because we're lacking a little bit in terms of that generational knowledge, we're looking to partner with institutions that would provide opportunities. It's almost like internship opportunities, as well as mentorship opportunities from these veterans. So they would be throughout their educational program, whether it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, throughout those years to be mentored by the top developers, top studios from around the world, and also opportunities for the students themselves to travel to these studios, to learn from them firsthand, and come back, because you're absolutely right. That firsthand knowledge is irreplaceable.
Yeah. Well, I think also you can flip some of these details around and think of how they become advantages too. Like you have a young population, and more of them play games, and a larger percentage of your population therefore plays games. And I think being in touch with the kind of games that people like, especially young people, is really advantageous to game development companies, right? If they are in touch with what young folks really like, I think they can make a better product for the market, right? And that's good. Now, I guess as far as just the business of attraction, bringing companies in, you have to set up rules. You make arguments in favor of like why relocate here, or why start up the business in Dubai in the first place. What are some things that come to mind as far as like how you set up this ecosystem to attract people?
Sure. The first thing that comes to mind is a unified effort from Dubai. His Highness the Crown Prince launched the Dubai Program for Gaming with the intention of having one working group that represents Dubai as a unified effort for growing the games industry. And so this working group consists of various government entities from licensing and entities that are responsible for policies and regulation, to entities that are responsible for offering spaces, real estate spaces, to telecommunications, etc. And so that has really helped us come here to Gamescom, and we are hosting a Dubai pavilion here. And
That's right. You're here for the first time.
yeah, we are here for the first time. We have a lot of learning so far already, but we can already see the opportunities. And this could only happen because of that unified effort. So now, if someone visits our pavilion or talks to a member of our delegation, they will receive one single response, and it's going to be the same message. So, for example, if a company or individual is looking to open an office space in Dubai, then it would be, we have members from a few free zones, the Dubai Multi-Commodity Center, that has a gaming center. We have the Dubai International Financial Center. Delegates are here from that free zone as well. And Dubai Economy and Tourism as well. So, it's almost like they're going to be able to see a menu of options to choose from. And there's something for everyone when it comes to relocating to Dubai. And again, like we're there to answer as many questions as possible, and we're open to criticisms. It's going to lead to a better and stronger gaming ecosystem in the long term.
I don't know if everybody remembers that, Las Vegas goes by the mantra now of only in Vegas, right? And I think only in Dubai is a phrase, I guess, that, describes maybe some of the unreality of the place. Like, it's so shocking in some ways, like what the society is like. And I wonder, this is probably a part of like the whole attraction as well, that like you're a unique place. There's a lot of things that only happen in Dubai, I guess, right?
Yeah, and we're waiting for that shocking thing to happen within gaming as well. We're working towards one, which we can't announce yet. But we are also looking for those homegrown shocking success stories as well. We're going to try as much as we can. We are open to supporting, the talented people that are creating these amazing games. I mentioned the Dubai Pavilion. We have a sister government organization that's called the Dubai Culture and Arts Authority. They're actually sponsoring developers of these 3 games to fly over here. They're providing them space and a demo area to showcase their games. So it becomes an opportunity for those developers to not only showcase their games globally, it could lead to investment opportunities, it could lead to maybe publishing opportunities. And so, yeah, you're right, we're known for doing big things and bold things, and we're going to do everything we can to make that happen in gaming as well.
Very good. Thank you very much, Faisal.
Thank you for having me.